guys, it's Alyssa, and today I'm going to be showing you the pros and the cons of high school cheer. And I get this question a lot, and I know a lot of people are wondering the difference between high school cheer and all-star cheer and what they can expect going into high school cheer, because it is very different than all-star cheer, I'll give you that. And also, I just wanted to let you know the basics of what can be good about it and what might be some sort of drawbacks. I have been on high school cheer for 2 years of my life. I was on varsity both years because I started junior year and then I continued to do it senior year. So I feel like that I have 2 years of experience, so I have a pretty good grasp of how it is. And let me just put this here. First of all, I totally loved high school cheer. I think it was definitely worth it. I think it was a great experience. I do not regret doing it at all. I personally loved it so much. We all have our own opinions, but I'm just telling you what might be things to think about before joining or what you might be getting yourself into. Okay, so we can start off on a positive, good note. We're gonna start with the positives of high school cheer. And there are so many great things about high school cheer, honestly. I personally, coming from All-Star, was very skeptical about how it was gonna be. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because I've only done All-Star. I did All-Star my first 2 years of high school, freshman and sophomore year. Then my gym closed down and there was no other close gyms nearby that I kind of thought would be convenient for me. So I thought I'd take the exciting chance of going to high school cheer, and I was kind of, I don't know if scared is the word, but I was very skeptical and curious. The first thing that's really awesome about high school cheer is that you get to become involved with the school. And personally for me, this is one of the biggest things. Before I joined high school cheer, honestly, I wasn't really involved in high school at all. I only went to one football game my first 2 years of lower classmen life of high school. I never joined any clubs. I never was super into anything. I didn't feel like my mascot was connected to me. School was just kind of like school to me, honestly. It was oh yeah, school is, I go to my classes, I have lunch and nutrition, hang out with my friends, go home. It's just high school, you know? Once I joined high school cheer, that all changed. I became super involved, of course, because when you're a spirit leader for your high school, you are the face of your high school. You are legitimately what the school is represented by, because we're the leaders of spirit, you know? From then on, everything changed for me. My whole entire high school experience just stopped and restarted into something completely new. Because once you join high school cheer, of course, you have to attend every basketball game, every football game, you perform at the pep rallies, you help out with different clubs and organizations, and you can just really feel that you are a part of the school. You get very connected with the school. And I feel like people who are super involved or on a sport and rep your mascot and rep the name, you become so connected, and that's what makes you love high school. A lot of people that I know, or my friends who were never involved in high school, they don't have anything good to say about high school. I feel like it's easy to say, oh yeah, I'm so ready to leave, I'm so ready to graduate, when you were never really involved, because then you don't form that connection. And honestly, I never thought that I would be so in love with having spirit for a school, but I was so all about it, and I loved being a part of my high school, and I loved representing it, and I just had so much passion. And I was honestly really heartbroken graduating, because I still feel like I'm a part of that school and I'm a representation of that school, and it just left me so many good memories. So that kind of plays along with having a great high school experience. If you join high school cheer and things just go well for you, I think you're bound to say you had a really good high school experience. As being a part of something like that, like I said before, just adds to your spirit and your passion in the school, and that's a great thing to look back on. And honestly, like taking risks and taking chances of things that you're not comfortable with, that's honestly where the best things are formed and where the best experiences are made. And so what? Even if things don't go completely right for you, if you like throw yourself into like something that you've never tried before, you're gonna learn something from it anyways. Everything is a learning experience. Even if things don't go so well, then you hope they would, always something good comes out of it. Another thing about high school cheer that is a pro is that honestly, it's pretty convenient. We all know doing activities in general, aside from school, take up time, and it can be kind of stressful because balancing school and an activity or a sport is hard to do. It is convenient because you are doing this through the school. Everything is in a way sort of connected. Most likely you're not gonna have like this giant exam conflicting with a competition or a football game because the school and your cheer program are connected, so it's more likely not to interfere with your school. I know for my school personally, we had a period of cheer. You know how you have like period 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever? I had cheer 5th period. So it wasn't like, oh, cheer practice on Saturday, cheer practice Tuesday, Thursday at 6:30 p.m. at night. Our cheer practices were actually a class. So it was like I was still in school and I was doing a class, but in reality it's cheer practice. So it was super, super convenient doing it that way. Also, tying in with academic reasons, a good thing is that everyone has the same schedule. So it's not as hard to like not agree on when you can meet for practice or to agree whether this is a good day to do this event because of school. Again, because like the school and cheer are connected, things aren't gonna conflict and everyone kind of is on the same page, you know? We're not gonna have a pep rally the same day that everyone's taking the SAT. Because in all-star cheer and in outside of school sports, people come from like different schools and everyone has different schedules that they have to adjust to. And plus it's a lot easier to like study with your teammates and plan things accordingly when you all have the same schedule. Football and basketball games are an amazing, awesome experience and opportunity that you get to do through high school cheer. Obviously in all-star cheer, you don't cheer at football games or basketball games. Strictly competition. I love all-star cheer. It's just a blessing. High school cheer is something completely different because you are doing cheers and you get to cheer on your school's teams. That kind of plays along into the whole spirit thing. I think it's just like awesome. You get to cheer on your teammates. Everybody kind of like unites because you're all supporting one another. And cheering at football and basketball games are so, so fun. I would love it so much. You get ready with your friends ahead of time. You all take the bus to whatever football or basketball game it is. And you get food after with your team or other friends or like football or basketball players. It's just like a really, really good time. And it's like a really cool thing to experience. I was a little bummed out when I first transitioned from all-star to high school because I was like, I don't know about this, but I'm so glad that I did because I would have never got to experience Friday Night Lights or what it's like to cheer on my favorite sports team because I'm a huge basketball fan. The last thing I'm gonna say is that I think high school cheer can be less costly. It totally depends on your program, but from what I've personally experienced, all-star cheer tends to be a little more expensive. Number one, because of competitions and the competitions that you go to, and the uniforms are usually more expensive, and at least at my high school there was no like tuition. But at All-Star, there is like a tuition and a bunch of fees you have to pay for. I mean, cheer is an expensive sport, like altogether, whether you're in high school or All-Star. But I'm pretty sure that high school, at least from my experience, high school was less expensive. Alright, so we're moving on to, I guess, some things to think about. The cons to doing high school cheer. Again, I love high school cheer, would not regret doing it whatsoever, but there are some things to think about. that may be considered cons. If you are transitioning from all-star to high school, or if you're looking for extremely intense, competitive, hard-working team, depending on your high school cheer may not be for you. Because personally, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bummed and like culture shocked when I went from all-star to high school because nothing was the same. Like, high school cheer practices are a lot different. It's less intense, all again from my personal experience. This is all from my experience. I know there's a lot of high schools that are super intense and super like crazy like All-Star, but just from my experience and from what I hear from other people at different schools, it can be less intense. This may be good for you or this could be bad. For me, this was bad in the moment because I was so used to being like, oh my god, yes, cheer, like super tight, super smiley, super be on time, you better be 10 minutes early, and my heart and soul is into this, and cheer and sleep is all I care about. High school cheer isn't really like that. I feel like it's not really as strict to a certain degree, again, from my experience. Aside from that, I would say a really big thing is that you're gonna find or encounter people that don't want to be there. I'm sure if you may have experienced this, you may have not, but honestly in high school cheer, probably half the girls don't want to go to practice. Like in all-star cheer, I was excited to go to practice all the time. And then in high school cheer, it's the norm to always say, oh my god, I don't want to go to practice. Like, I'd rather be at home sleeping, or I'd rather be hanging out with my friends. It's just like normal in high school cheer for people to think that. There are going to be a lot of people who don't want to be there for the same reasons that an extremely dedicated person to cheer would be. People don't always want to be there. That can be con because personally, I was around a lot of people who didn't really care and didn't really want to be there, and it honestly brought my spirits down, and I kind of adopted that from them. Like, I found myself like saying, oh, I don't really want to go to cheer, and I found myself smiling less when I was going full out because nobody else was smiling, because I came from all-star cheer and I was super sharp, super tight. Even when we were just marking like a routine, I would have a giant smile on my face, but nobody else did. So I kind of just adopted that, and I kind of smiled less, and I was less into it, I guess. My heart was into it, but what I was showing was to a certain degree kind of what the other girls were showing. Everyone's energy is gonna rub off on you whether you like it or not. So just know that there is a chance that in high school cheer you might encounter more people that don't necessarily want to be there or aren't 100% in it. The last thing I can probably say about cons regarding high school cheer is that, okay, this is just the truth. There are always going to be those people who are just in it for the uniform. I say this kind of like as, I don't know if like metaphor is the word, but there are always going to be people who are doing cheer just to say they're on cheer, just to do cheer, just to look cute, just to say you have cheer practice, just to have something to do or seem like cool or something. Obviously, it's not everybody, and a lot of people aren't like this, but I feel like in high school cheer, there's always gonna be a few people who are doing it for the wrong reasons. This may affect you, this may not. Honestly, you could probably be thinking, oh, I can just do my own thing, I don't have to pay attention to them, I'm my own person, which is a good way to think about it. But it is hard and sometimes frustrating when you are in it for certain reasons, like determination, you love the sport, and then other people don't really care and want to ditch practice all the time, and they literally just want to be a cheerleader just to say they're a cheerleader. It happens. It's high school. There are people like that. It's honestly kind of normal. Those are the downsides of high school cheer. So yeah, those are the cons that I would think about when deciding whether to do high school cheer. I definitely personally think the good outweighs like the bad or the negativity, considering I loved it and I didn't have to deal with a whole lot of the cons, but like of course it was there. Like I'm sharing this because I've experienced it before, and of course different programs are going to be different. Like maybe one high school, who knows, can be full of people who don't want to be there and it's just like, you know, like a mess. But there are some high schools that are completely dedicated and everyone wants to be there, and it's a really great like competitive dedicated team. But a lot of high schools are a good mix of both. I think it can go both ways, but these are just like certain things, pros and cons, that exist in the high school cheer world. So that is everything I have to say. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye everyone!